Angel did not almost forget the name of the show again. That's never happened to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Now you got me laughing.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voices from the Mausoleum, and welcome to our first March Monster Madness Bracket Live. I've been driving Albert crazy with all of my posts and trying to engagement on
Not
this
at all.
So, as you guys know, Albert is my co-host for Cursed Beings. So, obviously, for anything monster related, he's the number one choice always. So, I wanted to kind of do something for March Madness, but I don't give a shit about anything sports related. And March Monster Madness alliteration, why not? So, how you doing, Albert? Thanks for doing this with me.
Hey, how's it going? Good. Yeah, I honestly had no idea what March Madness was when it pertains to any sports or anything. So my wife actually had to explain that to me.
Oh, the bracket stuff?
Yeah, and I was just, as soon as you said monster anything, I was like, yes, I'm in.
Exactly.
So that's basically all it took. I was sold.
Yeah, and I thought it would be a fun thing to do just in general, try to get people involved in it. But the voting, so for anybody who hasn't seen the post that's watching this now or is going to check it out later, we let you guys completely vote. So the winners of the first brackets and all the brackets after that are based solely on poll voting that we're doing on Instagram stories. So we each came up with 8 monsters. We worked through the best that we could. Some of them were a little hard to match up, and we matched them up in a way that we thought made the most sense. We posted them all on social media, and everybody else, all of our friends and everybody that follows, did the rest. So we'll go through. We'll talk about our first bracket because it was a lot. I told Albert, I was like, I'll be so fucking glad when there's less of these, because I was reposting them every day, and it was just a pain in the butt. But because there were so many of them, so there was 8 groupings altogether. So I'll go through the first ones. I'll let Albert talk his predictions for the first bracket. I'll talk about my predictions, and then we'll announce winners. And then essentially, if you're in chat and you want to help, we're going to work on setting up the next bracket for next week. So the first bracket consisted of Xenomorph versus Graboids, which is from Tremors, for anyone who's not super familiar. And it's okay, because most people just call them worms. The Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth against the Unseen Elder, which is from Witcher
3.
Witcher 3. Krampus, like 2015 Krampus, went against how do you say this one, Albert?
Leshen. It's
Leshen.
Yeah, and that's also from the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt video game. So
yeah, okay. Yeah, we mixed in some video game stuff, which I think actually added a layer of fun, in my opinion. Next, we had Pyramid Head against Nemesis, which, giving the division of the 2 franchises, I was really curious how that one was going to go. This one was weird, but y'all got to bear with us, because these were hard to pair with anybody else. So we did Frankenstein's monster with Leprechaun. I know. But what could the Leprechaun possibly go against in this list? Literally nothing else. So then we did Predator versus Rawhead Rex, Pumpkinhead versus the Death Angel, which I did put this in the polls because a lot of people don't know that's what they're called. But the Death Angels are the alien creatures from A Quiet Place. And then Van Helsing in wolf form versus Lycans from the Underworld franchise. So that was our first full bracket. Most of it went the way I thought it was going to go, if I'm honest.
I feel like maybe Rawhead Rex would have been a good combo with the Leprechaun, possibly.
You think so? Oh, because of the times of the movies? Yeah.
Well, more just because, I don't know, they both have this weird, like, gray area of powers that they possess.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think we ended up redoing it, I think, twice. The first one I think I said, like, I didn't really I was like, let's rework it. And so we sent the final ones and we talked about them. We were like, okay, this will work. So I think these ended up being okay for the most part but some of them are just so weird that it's hard to like put them against anything. But all right. So what did you have for your predictions, and did this well, I guess it'll say that. Never mind. Wait. Let me back up. What were your predictions for this bracket?
Well, for me, I kind of had a feeling that it was going to go this route. It was basically going to be the popularity contest, like what people like more, as opposed to who would actually win in like a fight if you put these characters against each other.
Mhm.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But I just, so if people out there are watching, they understand that like that's the route it went. It was a popularity contest, basically.
Yeah.
So I kind of saw it going this way.
Yeah.
But yeah. So for the first grouping, I honestly figured, because Aliens is popular right now. That show just came out, Alien Earth.
It's true.
So I kind of already felt like, okay, I mean, Tremors hasn't been out forever. You know,
Yeah.
people probably don't even know or remember Tremors that much. I mean, there's
Yeah.
some people, but you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
that-
Xenomorph is has a very, I think, specific kind of fan base in general. But I actually thought that Graboids would have done a little bit better initially and then maybe fallen off. But I thought Xenomorph was going to win too. I didn't. I'm trying to think if there's any. I think there's only two. I'm looking at the list in front of me. Yeah, there's only two. So you predicted it would be what? The Xenomorph for the first one, Pale Man would win, then probably Krampus. And you thought out of Pyramid Head and Nemesis, which one did you think was going to win out of those?
Just from the things I see, I'm going basically by stuff I see online. So like on Instagram, you're always seeing people post about Pyramid Head and how there's this.
Yep.
I don't know how to say it. I guess there's an attraction to.
I don't think you have to. I think I was going to say
like, right, there's like this thing. So yeah, I just kind of already assumed like, okay, he's taking it, or
yeah. And so then you assumed Frankenstein would win over the Leprechaun, and then Predator versus Rawhead Rex. You were thinking Predator.
Oddly enough, though, Leprechaun does have kind of a weird cult following as well.
I agree.
So I didn't know quite how that one would go because, again, a lot of people are fans of the Leprechaun. I feel like it's got its own little cult following.
But I agree. It does. You're right.
When you put it up against someone or another creature like Frankenstein, it is kind of, Frank has his own like thing going. So
yeah, agreed. Yeah, that's true.
Hard to say.
Yeah. And then Pumpkinhead versus the Death Angels from Quiet Place.
Pumpkinhead, again, another character that has his cult following because of that film,
Yeah.
I kind of already had a feeling just based off of what you see on Instagram and
being posted about them.
Exactly. Yeah. I already assumed like, okay, well, we know just because people are familiar with the character, they're immediately going to go for that character.
Sure.
So I think that's why it gets more exciting going into the next grouping, because now you're putting these characters against each other, right?
That are like the popular ones. Yeah, I agree with that. I think it is going to get really interesting. And then did you have, for what you were thinking, were you thinking Van Helsing over the Lycan? You were thinking Van Helsing was going to win, or you thought Lycans were going to win?
I honestly did think Van Helsing would win because a lot of people like that movie.
I love that movie. Yeah.
A lot of people liked that movie and liked the Hugh Jackman, is that character, and
it is a good movie.
Fingers crossed for a sequel someday. Probably won't happen.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah. I also liked the Frankenstein's monster in that one too, but that was a really cool movie. I did really like that one. Yeah, so my predictions were a little different, not drastically. I obviously put Xenomorph as the winner. For the Van Helsing, though, I did think the Lycans were going to win only because the Underworld movie has so many more movies. I thought, it seemed like a possibility that people would favor that over the Van Helsing wolf. And then I did do Frankenstein over the Leprechaun, because I feel like we've kind of had this resurgence lately of like Universal monsters, and I just feel like that was probably how that was going to go. I assumed Predator was going to win against Rawhead. I did. I think Krampus. I'm looking at my Instagram post. Krampus, yeah, Krampus is the winner. I actually did for my prediction. I actually did the Death Angel over Pumpkinhead because there are so many movies, or I mean, so many people that when I bring up Pumpkinhead, they don't even know what that is. They've never seen the movies.
Very
And
true.
so I thought there was a chance that either the Pumpkinhead fans were really going to rise to the occasion and vote, or the newer, more well-known right now being the ones from A Quiet Place. I actually thought those were going to win. I did do the Pale Man as the winner against the Unseen Elder, and I actually did Nemesis because you're talking about two horror game franchises that are huge and are both like we're getting crazy amounts of new games for right now. So Resident Evil and Silent Hill. We just had the Silent Hill movie come out. There's just a lot going on with both of them. But Resident Evil fans are like just very different from Silent Hill fans in general. Like I feel like for the most part, everybody's got games they don't like in whatever franchise they follow. But Resident Evil fans are Resident Evil fans. Silent Hill fans have their Silent Hill game, and then they can take or leave most of the rest of them. So I feel like there was a chance that Nemesis was actually going to win because Resident Evil fans are more pro Resident Evil, whereas Silent Hill fans they're divided into the ones that they're specific ones that they like. So, um, yeah. So we've Albert's train of thought was pretty on point for the winners. So the winners for the first bracket that are going to move on to our next one is the Xenomorph won against the Graboids, the Pale Man beat the Unseen Elder, Krampus beat the Leshen, Pyramid Head did in fact beat Nemesis by, at least on my side of things, quite a lot, which I did not expect to happen.
Same.
Yeah. Frankenstein's monster won against the Leprechaun, but I don't this one to me from what I was seeing in numbers wasn't like a landslide for my polls. Like Frankenstein won by like a little bit. The Leprechaun got no votes until like the last 3 days, and then it like bumped him up like quite a bit. But Frankenstein ultimately he was the winner for that one. And then Predator won against Rawhead Rex. Um, Shockingly, Pumpkinhead beat out the Death Angels from A Quiet Place. That one wasn't even close. And then Van Helsing Wolf Form versus the Lycans. The Lycans won by quite a bit as well. So, yeah. You're right. I mean, I did encourage people to vote however they felt inclined to do so, whether they were voting from the mindset of who could fight against who they thought was just a cooler concept. Like, I kind of just left it up to people to vote, however, because ultimately that's what they're probably going to do anyway. They're just going to vote in whatever makes sense for them, right? So,
I don't think a
yeah,
lot of people know who Rawhead Rex was, or probably
I
haven't seen the movie because
I
it
didn't know who that was. Yeah.
definitely kind of one of those weird. I want to say it was an 80s film. Now I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's an 80s movie that with a weird, it's just a weird creature feature.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. So I could understand why people would not choose that specifically. But again, Predator is super popular right now with that new movie that just came out, which I loved. I mean, I love that movie. That movie was great.
That movie was really good. I
I didn't
agree. I
expect
really
it
liked
to
it
be
too.
that good.
I did not go in with very high expectations. Nothing against that franchise because I loved Prey, but I could tell it was going to go in a very different direction, and I just wasn't sure, how that was going to go. Was there any other ones that like disappointed you as far as like wins, or were you just prepared? You were just like, yeah, this is how it's going to go.
Again, just being on social media for as long as I've been, I guess nothing was really surprising. Um, I guess I just, I don't know. 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 I guess I just,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the only one would have been the Underworld versus Van Helsing,
Yeah.
because a lot of people are, I feel like more people are fans of Van Helsing. They both use heavy CGI, but they both
Yes.
also, but I know that Underworld does use a lot of practical effects as well.
It's a
So
mix. Yeah.
I don't know. That one's hard to say. But
Yeah.
yeah, for the most part it was pretty much a given. But the next, them going against each other though now, is what
Who
makes me
knows?
curious, because I feel like that's going to be tougher.
Yeah, I agree. Because essentially the winnings for this bracket is pretty much how I would have voted. I think almost exactly. Yeah, I would have done Xenomorph, Pale Man, Krampus. I absolutely would have voted Pyramid Head, Frankenstein's Monster, Predator, Pumpkinhead, and then the Lycans. So it pretty much went how I would have voted. I didn't for the sake of numbers. I just left it alone. But yeah.
On
All right. So the
popularity, I agree with you.
yeah.
But on, like, if they were to actually go at each other, I feel like it would have been different. I feel like the characters would have, it probably would have been different, at least halfway different. As far
Yeah.
as some of those characters from those video games, yeah, I just couldn't imagine. But because they're not well known with everyone, right? So not everybody.
Right.
It just, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think yeah, I think some of these like maybe a couple would work if you looked from like a combat standpoint if they had to actually fight against each other. But I think for the most part what you would find with these is that the one that lost would actually be the one that won if you were to consider what they can do as their monster selves, right? Versus like the Pale Man eats children. If he went against the Unseen Elder, I don't that seems like he would obviously probably come out the winner and Pale Man would lose. And kind of the same with like Krampus and the Leshen. Like Krampus ultimately has minions that do a lot of his bidding in the movie. So it's very like, and Nemesis has a giant ass gun. I mean, Pyramid Head is probably toast, right? Um, I do think Frankenstein would potentially win if he moved fast enough. I don't know, but the Leprechaun's got magic on his side, so I guess that could go either way, depending on how you want to look at it.
I would love to see that fight though.
That
Just
one would be very,
because
very
it would be funny.
entertaining.
It'd be funny to watch.
It would be funny. Frankenstein versus the Leprechaun, that would be really funny. I agree.
Frankenstein's so big and the Leprechaun's like kind of like a smaller person, so it'd be kind of like it'd be adorable.
It would be a very humorous thing for sure. I don't know enough about Rawhead Rex to know, but who do you think would actually, like, if you were to do combat style, who would win against? Would be him or Predator?
Predator would probably win.
Think so? Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, if you haven't seen Rawhead Rex, it is so comical and ridiculous. It's definitely worth watching. Oh, I thought it was my cat, but it's my wife with another beer. Thank you so much.
I thought it was the cat at first too, the way it opened only just like a little bit at first. I was like, oh.
That usually happens when I'm going to the bathroom and my cat's just like, hey, just wanted to say hi.
Just seeing what you're up to in here. Yeah. I actually think the Death Angels would win against Pumpkinhead simply because they're so fast and they're bigger. And okay, so then I don't know about this one though. Van Helsing in wolf form versus a Lycan in like combat. I don't know.
The werewolves from Van Helsing were pretty they made them very,
they had six packs.
Like cartoonistic. Like they were able to like leap super far and they
crazy high.
They were able to do things that were very over the top, basically. So, and then when you go to the Underworld franchise and those werewolves, it seemed reasonable what the monsters were able to do. Like it was believable.
Yeah, it wasn't OP, as they say. Yeah.
So yeah, if you're watching those two go at each other and we're taking that into consideration, I feel like I feel like Van Helsing, just because
would
their
win.
ability to be ridiculously like overpowered over every athleticism is on a whole nother level. I mean, they were just doing the most. So
That's true.
but
Yeah.
now I also want to rewatch Van Helsing.
Yeah, fair. Hi, Mike. Predator head-to-head fight might win the entire bracket. He's too buff. He's got stuff on his side for sure. Yeah, I think you're right. The way that the wolf design for Van Helsing in general, not just him, but the other wolves as well. Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay,
Right.
so now we have the fun task of trying to decide who we want to go together for the next bracket.
Okay.
So, anybody that's in the comments, feel free to spout your thoughts because that'll definitely go into consideration. But we've got, I'm so glad these brackets are getting small. It was so much to manage that many freaking monsters. Okay.
So what are we? 8 to 4, right?
We're going from 8 to 4 brackets. Yep.
And I've drank just the perfect amount tonight to be able to make good decisions.
Good to know. All I've had is an energy drink, and I drink carbonated waters because I cut my soda habit. But I don't know. Sometimes the energy drinks make me loopy.
It's not easy. I love soda too.
Yeah, it's a problem, but I had to do it. All right, so I'm gonna relist them, and then we'll kind of just try to figure out what we think makes sense. And I guess they're not gonna make sense, but you get my point. So Xenomorph.
Just so
Yeah.
you know, I'm obviously gonna I'm gonna want to choose like good matchups, like as far as
I know you think very
I
strategically.
think they're gonna be difficult for them to beat each other. I'm not gonna go based off popularity for all you folks out there. Just so you okay, go ahead. Sorry.
And I'll probably balance that to some extent because there are some I just want to see based on fandoms. I think it would be funny to watch them argue. Hi, Tara. I'm actually mad the Death Angel lost to Pumpkinhead. I did not think that was going to happen. That shocked me, genuinely. All right, so we've got Xenomorph, the Pale Man, Krampus, Pyramid Head, Frankenstein's Monster, the Predator, Pumpkinhead, and the Lycans from Underworld. Where are you thinking already as far as your strategicness of what you think makes sense? I'm going to write it down.
I mean, I automatically kind of want to see Pumpkinhead go against Predator, even though the right off the top answer would be Xenomorph versus Predator, but we've already seen that. I mean,
we've done that. Yeah, I would like to not do that for sure.
I feel like if it's one single Xenomorph against Predator, Predator's going to end that quick. And it's now if it's an army of Xenomorphs going after Predator, there's a chance. But
yeah,
one-on-one, no way. It's not even a question.
Yeah, I agree. I like that. I think we should do Predator and Pumpkinhead. Predator, Pumpkin. I'm going to write them down because I got to redo the graphics. Mike says Lycans versus Krampus.
It's interesting because there's no real like guidelines or where Krampus's powers begin and end. Like he's otherworldly almost. So
he is.
Putting them together, it's like a Lycan is basically just like a overgrown animal with claws that like can attack and bite and scratch.
He's got some resistance though, right? Like they don't fall so easily in terms of because of their skin and stuff. Like it takes like a lot. I mean, they had to create special weapons to be able to destroy these things because regular bullets just didn't cut it.
I mean, Silver. I mean, but that's any werewolf movie ever.
But Angel, they did remember they could
werewolf
push those out.
No. What you're doing right now. No. The way that we know werewolf lore and theory, like, come on. You're really going to go that route?
They made them push those out, and then they had to create the ones that bled the silver into the bloodstream, which was a cool concept. It's very action horror, but I love it.
I like that idea too, to be honest.
Yeah, that's cool. Also, Frankenstein's Monster Forever. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, cool. So we got our first one. We're gonna do Predator versus Pumpkinhead. What are your thoughts on who do you think would be good to match up with the Xenomorph?
Because you got the blood. It's basically a
And
lichen.
drool.
It's basically a lichen with blood that can burn through like acid blood.
That's true. Mike said Krampus doesn't have silver. He has gingerbread.
See, for me, that would be a good matchup. The lichens from Underworld versus xenomorphs.
Okay, I like that. Lichen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Kind of that same type of physical being. They're not otherworldly.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Which is going to make Krampus kind of, well, actually, I have a thought. We're talking about something that's otherworldly.
Yeah, Krampus is otherworldly, basically. So I feel like he's kind of got this weird gray area where there's a lot of room for argument.
Mm-hmm. So what about Pyramid Head, though? Because he's also otherworldly.
That'd be a good one for Krampus.
Krampus versus Pyramid Head, because Pyramid Head is also very difficult to kill. And he can just kind of go away and come back. And Krampus kind of does the same thing, right? I'll read that in a second. Let me write this down before I forget where I'm losing my train of thought. Krampus. That one's going to be wild. Okay. Pyramid Head. Frankenstein versus Pale Man seems on par. I can see that. These like weird, I think like they're both slower, don't really have any like magical abilities per se. I mean, the Pale Man has his like thing but it's related to vision.
The problem is we never saw Pale Man really do much in the film that I recall.
Yeah, it was all implied. Yeah.
Exactly, which I would love to know more lore behind Pale Man, because I think he is super creepy.
He's so creepy.
He's so creepy, but like as far as what his capabilities are, it kind of leaves it up to interpretation. Like I don't know. Who knows? That's
who that leaves, though. That leaves Frankenstein and what did I just say? The Pale Man. That's who it leaves. Because we're only doing 4. So it's Predator and Pumpkinhead, the Lichens versus Xenomorphs, Krampus versus Pyramid Head. It leaves Frankenstein and the Pale Man.
Well, I already know who's going to win.
Frankenstein, you think?
I'm just over here trying to sound overconfident. I don't. I honestly don't know.
So, okay, knowing that that's our last one, though, does that make you feel like we should rethink it, or you feel solid about? Because I feel good about these. I think those are fun and good and interesting.
I think those are good matchups, and they make people think about it for a second. Because again, I think people are going to be basing it off a popularity contest.
Sure.
And because of that, I think that sets it up for it makes people kind of be like irritated at you a little bit, and I like it. I like it.
I like that too. I think at bare minimum, I think it's going to create hesitation in voting. Whereas when you go through like the original list, you're like, yep. You know, whereas this one you might be like, ooh, I don't know. Like you have to think about it a little different. So creepy. It's a no for me. I wouldn't want to meet. Yeah, he's so good. Him and he's played by Doug Jones, who also plays in that movie The Fawn. He's just a genius. And the monster design, of course, because it's Del Toro, is going to be out of this world. So good. I love that movie. Pan's Labyrinth is one of my favorites. Okay, cool. So that works then. So we have our next brackets, our next set of brackets. It's Predator versus Pumpkinhead, the Lichens versus Xenomorphs, Krampus versus Pyramid Head, which I think is probably the funnest of them. And then Frankenstein versus Frankenstein's monster versus the Pale Man. Weird. That's going to be interesting, right?
I think it's going to end up being Frankenstein versus Predator.
Yeah.
At the end. I mean, if we're going
for like the last one,
the last two standing,
mm-hmm.
That's my prediction. You wanted a prediction? I'm predicting toward at the end. I know I'm jumping ahead of things.
Damn, I don't know.
Now I feel guilty because you did the deep breath. But
No, don't feel guilty. No, I'm thinking because, well, I'm looking back at my tally counts for all of these. And so the two monsters that got the most votes altogether was the Xenomorph and the Pale Man. So the Pale Man got more votes in his bracket initially than Frankenstein did for his. So it'll be interesting to see if that matters or not,
but
right? Like
you have to think who was the Pale Man against though.
that's true. So we'll see. I'll
Remind
be
me
interested to see.
who was Pale Man against originally?
The Unseen Elder.
Yeah, see, again, because no one knows who the Unseen
Yeah.
Elder is, because a lot of people haven't played with it, right? So I get
Yeah.
it. But I think if you put those two together, I have a strong feeling Frank is taking it to the end. Frank has such a cult following. Everyone loves Frankenstein. They made him
Mhm.
breakfast tabletop freaking
I have him everywhere. Yeah.
conversation. I mean, my wife has the backpack purse of Frankenstein.
I have a big bag that my partner got me for Christmas that's Frankenstein and the wallet that matches. I'm a big Frankenstein junkie too. I get that. Last bracket predictions, Frankenstein's monster versus the Xenomorph.
Possibly, yeah, I could see because
I can see Xenomorph making it pretty far too. I agree with that.
I just don't think a Xenomorph is going to beat it. If we're talking realistically, a Xenomorph's not going to beat Predator. But I'm not thinking popularity contest. I'm thinking.
I know what you mean, though. Yeah. So, what do you think? All right. So then, what's your bracket predictions for this one? Predator versus Pumpkinhead. Who do you think's going to win?
Predator.
I say Predator. Yeah.
Again, more popular.
I agree.
That's why. But also, Predator's a badass. I mean, he's got all these weapons. He's like,
cool.
I love
very cool.
Since a kid, I've always loved Predator.
She said, "Don't forget the bride purse." So, all right. So then, for your predictions for the next one, the Lycan versus the Xenomorph. You thinking Xenomorph? Or you don't know?
I'm thinking Xenomorph is more popular. Like a lot of people like that art style of I can't remember what is his name? Geiger or something.
Mm-hmm.
The whole it's got like a whole movement behind it, right?
Yeah, so because of its symbolism and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like people are gonna choose that because of it's like a popularity thing, and because of that, I think it's gonna win.
Yeah. What about Krampus versus Pyramid Head?
Pyramid Head, I think, will win.
I agree.
But again, it really depends on who's voting. I mean, because you have a lot of horror fans that really like Krampus. So
you're right. That's true.
That's actually a good one. Like I feel like when I put that one up, people are gonna probably chime in and be like, "Why would you put these two against each other? Why would you?"
I like that though. That's good.
Decision? No, I love that. I love when people respond with that on my Instagram. It's my favorite. It's like I like making people kind of stop for a second and think about it.
Yeah. And then I'm assuming Frankenstein over Pale Man. Prediction for the last one.
Yeah, again, it's just Frankenstein's more popular. And then I picture them in an altercation, and I feel like Frankenstein he can't die, right? I mean, what Frankenstein were we going? Because I chose it based off of the latest film, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Oh, yeah.
And that guy is unstoppable. I mean, they shoot him, blow him up. They freaking...
He lands in the ice.
He gets attacked by wolves. I mean, he has everything thrown at him. And this dude's like invincible. I just don't see this guy with eyes in his hands able to stop him. That's all. I mean, yeah, Pale Man's creepy. I give Pale Man that. He is a creepy guy. But
in terms of he's creepy for kids, really, is what it boils down to. Probably not other monsters, right? Exactly. I get that. No, I totally get that.
Gonna destroy him.
Yeah.
Game
all right.
over.
Well, very cool. Well, we did it. We got through our first week of Monster Madness.
Yes. No sports related at all.
No, that's what makes it fun. It gives horror fans something to at least look at, I think. And, I think it'll be something hopefully we can just do every year because I think it's fun. And there's so many opportunities monster wise. There's so many to pick from. And we could do this for 50 years probably. You know what I mean? So,
Well, after I get the vision of yours down, because I'm gonna give you the credit. This is your vision, and I was trying to follow along because I really wanted to understand what you're going for first and then back you up second so that I could like really like follow that vision, right? Like I want to
yeah.
be able to like, yeah. So now that I feel like I kind of get it, what you're going for, like I can kind of like be like, okay, yeah, this is where I would
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. And this is how it works every time we do something new together. It's just a matter of figuring out how we want to, because I tell everybody that does any show with me, it's yours. It's 50-50. It's not, I'm not trying to make it the Angel show. I want you involved because I want you to be that active, like, so, and it's always fun to work with you.
We haven't done anything live in a while or even just together. So it's nice to be able to talk to you. So
yeah, it's been a minute. I think we intended to get back to Cursed Beings in February, and I couldn't make it happen schedule-wise. And then we were doing this in March. So in April,
no worries.
We'll get back to our
werewolves versus vampires.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you gave me such a hard movie. Maybe I'm like subconsciously, I'm like,
I don't even remember what movie I gave you.
You gave me Howling, The Howling.
Okay. Just because it's my favorite werewolf movie doesn't mean that it has to be difficult for you.
Oh no, I just mean because I love that movie also. I want to pick something comparable to that in the vampire world, but timeline wise, the ones that are close to that, I'm not ready to do yet. So I'm trying to like,
true.
I'll come up with a good one. Somebody was telling me I should do Fright Night 2.
Yeah. I feel like The Howling doesn't get enough credit. I feel if you really break it down,
yeah.
Gosh, it is such a. Anyways, that's a different show.
Yeah. But we'll be working on getting it scheduled for Cursed Beings to come back because they're so much fun to do in general, and we always have a good time. So we'll be doing those. But then for anybody who hasn't been following along, we'll be doing these once a week. So we'll kind of base it around our schedules and what we can make work. But the goal is to continue to do the voting during the first portion of the week and then to get on like this on a live and chat about it and get it out so we can get engagement and talk about it versus just doing like a social media post. I think this is more fun. And then we get to talk about the next bracket in a more like conversational base versus trying to like text about it. So
you can't hear me chewing popcorn, can you, in this?
Not over my loud ass, probably not.
Okay, good. I was feeling guilty for a second. I just thought about it. I was like, wait, I hope it's not.
You're good.
Okay, cool.
You're good. Well, cool. Well, that's our first episode for our first live for Monster Madness for March. If you want to vote, take an opportunity. They're going to be posted in the stories. That leaning candle is making me nervous. It also moves every time he moves. Have you noticed that? Like it's going to fall over.
I'm absolutely kneeing the table.
That's okay. Nothing catastrophic has happened yet.
No.
So these will be on Instagram primarily. It's a lot easier to track things if it's on like one social media, but Albert and I both will be posting in various ways about it to try to get people to vote and stuff. So that's the plan. Albert's got to go cuddle now with his monster head. So we'll wrap up. But if you're not following Albert, make sure you're doing that. And let us know what you think in the comments about our new bracket and who you think's going to win. I'm curious of other people's predictions. So hit us up and let us know. And otherwise, have a good rest of your weekend, everybody. And Albert and I will see you next week for our next bracket. Bye.
Goodbye.